Alright, Shalom Akim. I like to say Kahalayam Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim around the world that pushes through to the four corners of the earth. I like to name this lesson A Weak Spirit Cannot Resist Satan. Right? Because really and truly, when you're in this world, we know that we had to dwell in this world and build our spirits. Why? Because we know that we had to go through temptation, we had to go through affliction. All these things will be brought upon us, just like they was brought upon Job. By who? Satan. Even though the Lord controls all things, you understand, Satan will be visiting you from time to time to try to get you to go off. And if your spirit in a weak state, it wouldn't be able to resist these things. You understand? Go through some precepts. I'll come back to that one after. Which one to start with first? I'll start with this one first. They say they 1 Peter 5 verse 8 to say, be sober, be vigilant. You understand? Be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And we know in the truth, we had two devils that we had to worry about. One of them is, the physical manifestation of wickedness, which is Esau. You understand that it's come down unto us with great wrath, and the scriptures talk about. You understand? And constantly afflicting our people. And the other devil we had to worry about is the spiritual one, which is Satan. You understand? These spirits that is be constantly in your head trying to get you to go off and doing things you shouldn't be doing. Trying to encourage you not to study, not to do certain things, and making you believe to yourself that these things are okay. You understand? With smooth words that is whisper in your ears and try to get you to go off. Try to turn you against brothers. You understand? Try to have you doing things that are not expedient or unlawful. And that is why it's had to be mingling in these scriptures to build your faith. You have to be. You have to be mingling these scriptures to build your faith and to build your spirit to be able to resist these things. I'll go to Ephesians. I go Ephesians 6. It says Ephesians 6, I'll start from 10, right? It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, because the Lord is our strength. He's the one who does keep us from these things. But how we strengthen ourselves in the Lord? By doing his things, the things that are pleasing to him. Following this word, preaching. You understand? Keeping these ordinances. That how we just be strong in the Lord. Right? It say, put on the whole armor of power. It said that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And like I was talking about just now, about the two devils you had to deal with in this truth. Right? You'll be able to stand against the wiles of those devils. It say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And the physical devil we have had to deal with, he has draw his power from who? The spiritual devil, Satan. You understand? Two of them are big obstacles to you in this truth. That way has had to be dwelling in this word and strengthening your spirit constantly, that the Lord may be able to keep you from these things. And also building your knowledge to be able to stand against the wiles, the trickeries of the devil. You understand? That is how through the scriptures and through the spirit we know it has certain things not to dabble in, certain things to avoid, and the Lord has revealed certain things to us that we should keep away from. You understand? All these things is why it's how to build your spirit and keep yourself strong in the Lord. Alright. It says verse 13, it say, wherefore take up you the whole armor of power, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. It say, stand therefore, having your loins girded, having your loins girt about the truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness. and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. It say, above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which represents what? These words, right? You see, yeah, which is the word of power. You understand? So that is how it's actually you strengthen yourself through these things that the teacher, through the word itself, through faith, through obedience to the Lord. You understand? Keeping your spirit on a certain level, because we know that not only Esau gunning for us, but Satan gunning for us too. You understand? And you are the higher mind in a state to be able to deal with whatever trials you have to go through. And I always pray that the Lord keep you. You always have to be keeping your mind in that state. Always meditating on the word. Always thinking about what you could do to please the Lord and all these things. Time running out. Right? Just like Adania. As I say, Adania means my Lord in Hebrew. Right? Which refers to Mashiach. Just like he had to go through when he walked. Right? It said in Matthew 4 verse 1. It says, then was Mashiach led up of the Spirit, right? They say Jesus here, but his real name in Hebrew is Yahushai. But I just say Mashiach, right? Which is a reference to anointed, which is Mashiach is the Hebrew term for Christ, right? It said then was Mashiach led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. It said, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, so he was tempted also, just like we just be tempted to go off and do certain things. It say he said, if thou be the Son of power, it's a command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of power. Now you see, he always had two two signature ways about him. One is that when he would answer somebody who asks him foolishness, he would answer them with a quote from his scriptures. You understand? He would often answer them with a quote from his scriptures. Even the Pharisees used to do the same thing when they asked him, why callest thou thyself the Son of God or something like that? And he say, is it not written that ye are gods? He answered them with scriptures. And the way he used to answer them, it would get to you. It would get to you. Many times they wanted to kill him. You understand? But in order for him to even answer with scriptures what I mean, that is where his mind used to dwell in, the word of the Lord, which already is him, but in the knowledge of the Lord. That is where our mind's supposed to be also. When we making decisions, when we doing certain things, our mindset's supposed to be towards the same or similar things. You understand? What does the word say? How the word say to deal with it and all these things. But in order to be able to think like that, your mind have to be dwelling in the word. Right? Verse 5 it say, then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of power. Right? It say, cast thyself down, for it is written, and he was quoting stuff too, say, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against the stones. I believe that is Psalms 51. Right? It say, Mashiach said unto him, it say, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power. You understand? Everything Mashiach did, it was in the spirit. He walked perfectly. And that is our example of how we supposed to walk. But a man can't walk perfectly if he not actually dwelling in the scriptures. You understand? You had to be dwelling in these scriptures and doing and fulfilling these things. Just like how he was. He fulfilled the work of his Father, just like the scriptures said. And that is how your spirit does remain strong. You understand? If you're not dabbling in this word and you're not meditating in the word and you're not doing things that the Lord say, when the tempter does come, you wouldn't get away like how Mashiach actually went through it. It wouldn't be as easy for you as it was for him. You understand? Because your spirit weak. And I had a few more tempting he got also, but just to get the point or the concept of it. So this is this is Luke 22 verse 31. It say, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan had desired to have you, that he may sift you like wheat. And we know sifting is something that has happened a lot when it comes to the men of the Lord. The scriptures talk about it, about separating the wheat from the tares and the sheep from the goat. It will have a lot of sifting. It will have a lot of sifting. That is why you had to pray. You understand, that you don't end up in the lot at the tares. You understand? But it's not just about just sitting down and praying that you wouldn't do it, that it wouldn't happen, and then you're just living like a nigger, a little niglet. You're not supposed to live like that. You're supposed to live according to the word. You understand? It said the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for the wide. And that we had to do. We had to try to live righteously and suffer righteously. And hope for the wide. You understand? Not just about, just praying about it, but actually putting effect and applying it. Right? That he may sift you like wheat. Verse 32. It says, but I have prayed for thee, that thy faith faileth not. So he was being strengthened. You understand? Mashiach was strengthening him. That his faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen the brethren. And that way you see the apostles and elders come down. They just try to strengthen the brethren by making sure that they dwell in the word, making sure they do certain things they're supposed to do. Even though sometimes the brothers just watch it like as a burden, or as something like something evil being done unto them. But they know that Satan gunning for men out here. And they don't want the brethren to end up in that lot. That is why it is be so hard on men to make sure to do what they're supposed to do. They don't want men to fall. You understand? And in this truth, you have to keep your spirit strong, because the brothers cannot keep you afloat. A brother cannot keep you afloat. The only thing he could do is help you to stay afloat. By, giving you certain breakdowns, giving you advice, helping you spiritually, but he cannot keep you afloat. It's the Lord that is keeping you afloat. You understand? And you had to work to make that calling and election sure. You had to work towards actually keeping yourself afloat. All he could do is help you. He can't keep you afloat. And if you're not actually trying to keep yourself afloat, the Lord could deliver you unto Satan and you'll fall out. And then your judgment could be worse than even the 2/3. You understand? So there's a few precepts I said I'll go through pertaining to, I forget what the title of the video. Salakia. Think about dwelling in the spirit, that is just a little exhortation for the brothers to, always try to stay in the spirit. So when the tempter does come, you'll be able to resist these things, because your spirit will be strong enough to deal with it. And the Lord will find favor and deliver you from it. You understand? These are things that you just had to work towards. You don't just lie down and do absolutely nothing and think it will just come to you. If you had to grow, even if you had to grow physically, you don't just grow just like that by eating nothing, by doing nothing. If you had to put on muscle, you don't just get muscle just like that. It's the same thing with your spirit. If your spirit had to grow, you had to nourish it, you had to feed it, you had to take care of it. These things don't just come. You understand? Brothers had to learn to put in that work. Because it's not about any brother in particular that's seeing you. You had to make sure that you do it unto the Lord. Okay, scriptures say what? Work out your own salvation. I'll read that one. You understand? Okay, scriptures talk about the Lord absent, but the Lord is actually not absent. Even though he might be absent in the flesh, he's not absent, because he always seeing you. You always have to be working out your salvation to make sure that you on point. Because even if a brother not wrong, the Lord's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. He sees what you do and what you don't do. So even though you might be doing it in a way that brothers can't see you, that is the least of your problems. That is the very least of your problems. It said in Philippians 2 verse 12, it say, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. And like I say, he absent from us in the flesh, but in the spirit, his eyes are always watching you. You always have to keep that in mind. Don't think because a brother not seeing you, that don't mean that the person who really you should be worrying about not seeing you. He always seeing you. You're taking a bath, when you're sleeping, it doesn't matter what you're doing, he always seeing you. You always had to be on your P's and Q's. Your boss always around. It say more in my absence. It say work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And that is, it's say fear and trembling is a far reason. Okay, you're supposed to be afraid of what the Lord could do to you, or even delivering you into the hands of Satan is something to be fearful about. Because we read what happened to men in the past who was delivered unto Satan. It wasn't a nice experience for Job, for David, for none of them. You understand? It was not a nice experience for none of them. You know, so I hope it was edifying. You know, Akim, I like to say Kal Halayim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, right? There's Yaraba from the GMS Trinidad East Camp saying Shalom, Akim, stay strong.